When I was younger, I used affirmations to turn myself into a world-class writer, frankly. Can you use affirmations to lose weight? Roger Thiel is with us sharing some fascinating stuff. Check it out. And leave your comments, and don't forget to ding the bell and subscribe. Sometimes you know what you know, and sometimes you know what you don't know, and sometimes, like the Firesign Theater says, everything you know is wrong.
You know that you're wrong, but you fear you're right. You suspect you're out of sync. You think that you're out of your mind. Everything you know is wrong.
Is it possible to control your diet and your weight, ultimately, with your mind? Roger Thiel is with us. He's a historian. You may have seen him on the History Channel, excuse me. His latest book is called My Diet is Driving Me Crazy, which is also the name of his website, mydietIsDrivingMeCrazy.com. And the book is out there and available right now in all the normal books places. Roger, welcome back to the program.
Hey, great to be with you, Tom. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. We were on with you last time about your book about the Civil Air Patrol, which was absolutely fascinating. So, first of all, give me a quick summary of the book. I used, affirmation and kind of self-talk when I was in my early 20s to really, it really transformed my life, to convince myself, as it were, that I could become a successful business person and a successful author. How do you use this, internal conversation to make your diet work?
Okay, fine. Well, this is a new series of books which support your existing diet with courage, humor, and entertainment. Now, you can also turn to them in an emergency, so we even call this instant emotional support for your diet.
Wow.
Now, each volume has 10 very short stories and about 32 dieting affirmations, which we call insights. The stories are very special. Get this now, they place you in the mind of a dieter, usually when tempted by food, and you are there as the dieter finds the courage to overcome that temptation, and this feeling of winning rubs off on you. So it'll help you win your own daily diet battle. That's all new, just out since January.
Fascinating stuff. We're talking to Roger Thiel, his new book, My Diet is Driving Me Crazy, which is also the name of his website, which is fascinating. So what motivated you to write this book, Roger?
Yeah, well, last fall, I went to a large bookstore, not as usual to the history section, but quite frankly, to support my own diet. Now, every book in the section called Diet and Nutrition was worthwhile, but most of them felt so clinical or tedious, and there was very little about emotion and almost nothing that felt entertaining. But then I happened to walk by fiction and literature, and I remembered the deep emotions of storytelling. So I decided to write my own set of books, and they include the special dieting stories. They're only each half a page long, and I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. Would you like to tell, you have a brief life-changing insight about Charles Dickens?
Oh, yes, Charles. What we do is we're coming here to story, and I'm about to, in fact, give you summarize one of our stories in the book. But to give people an idea of the power of story in our lives, 175 years ago, Charles Dickens was going to write a pamphlet for the people of England to say why the rich should help the poor at Christmas time. But he didn't do that. He decided he would turn it into a story, into fiction, and by writing A Christmas Carol, he multiplied the message a millionfold. It's become part of our culture. Everybody knows. But let's remember, this is because he used story.
Right, and I mean, story is powerful stuff. We are, I remember Robert McKee once saying that, we actually are kind of biological story machines. That's one of the things that's kind of unique about humanity, is that we learn culture through story, we remember things best through story, if we can insert data into stories, and we motivate ourselves with stories. We tell ourselves stories about who we are, we tell ourselves stories about the rest of the world. How do the stories that we tell ourselves about diet work or not work generally, Roger?
All right, fine. Well, most other diet books usually offer, clinical instructions or lists of food, what you may feel when you go through the diet section in a bookstore.
Right.
We do the exact opposite. Most diet sources would expect you to use willpower or discipline or maybe your conscience. or maybe some technical advice, or maybe a sense of duty, but no, these stories give you the sudden emotional feeling of winning the diet game, and they're very short. So I'm going to summarize one. Our website even has under emergency support section, it has a subject index which lists stories for quick reference in different situations. So let's say you're concerned about food temptation in a supermarket. So then our subject index can refer you to a supermarket story which begins as a dieter returns a bag of candy to the shelf with pride. But then in the checkout line, the wall of candy bars is just so very tempting, and the dieter thinks, well, I just did something so good, maybe now I can. But then this dieter, while you are reading or listening, finds the courage to resist food temptation again. Right. And you feel the success on the level where it counts, the deep emotional level.
Right. It's remarkable stuff. The book is My Diet is Driving Me Crazy, which is also the name of the website. My Diet is Driving Me Crazy.com. The author is Roger Thiel.